Happy Friday, everybody. Thank you so much for downloading or streaming the Be Our Guest podcast. Hope you're getting ready for an awesome weekend. We're going to get you there with a fun show today, and it's a little bit different because, again, we have a guest co-host, and I'm very excited to have Simon from the UK back on the show because today we have a fun discussion about a bunch of different topics. We end the show with some Disney talk, talking about the changes to the shooting arcade over in the Magic Kingdom, turning that into a DVC lounge. We talk about trying to avoid spoilers before our Disney vacations. But the first part of the show gets into Simon's experience working as a performer on cruise ships. And I was very intrigued by this because as an experienced cruiser with Disney Cruise Line, I've always wondered what it's like on the other side of the experience as somebody who performs and entertains for those of us who go on all these cruises. And Simon gives us that perspective because he gets on these ships and sails for a few days and then gets to experience these ships as a guest as well. So we have a fun discussion today as to what it's like to sail on these amazing cruise ships around the world, and gives us some stories about some of his fun experiences working as a performer on a cruise ship. So we talk about that and a lot of fun Disney talk as well. So hope you enjoyed today's show. We had a great time recording it for you. Don't forget, today's podcast brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney adventure for no additional cost to you. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys make all this possible. Couldn't do it without you. And you can support us as well. Just $5 a month. And you'll get a bonus show called Mike in the Midwest coming over today over at patreon.com/beourguestpodcast.
Ready to take a trip to the world? You found the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage.
Welcome to episode 2513 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from beourguestpodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. Hope you're getting ready for a big weekend, a great weekend. It's my last weekend before the big cruise. I cannot wait. I mean, I've only been counting down to the Disney Fantasy, it seems like, for 7 years, and I think it's finally going to get here next week. So hopefully this weekend we're getting all the last minute stuff from Target, Walmart. I guess there's still time to order the last minute goods from Amazon. I can't imagine there's anything else I still need. But of course, when it gets down to crunch time, I'm sure we'll figure out a few more things. But I love this time, this anticipation right before the trip where you're getting ready to go. We get to go to Old Key West for one night, stay in a 1-bedroom villa. I'm excited for that. We're ADR, Olivia's, 520. I mean, come see me. We're going to be there Friday night, July 5th. Come see us next Friday night, week from today. We're going to be, buttermilk chicken will be served. I promise you. I'm trying to get a table on the patio. Come see, Gurgling Suitcase will be in the pool. Then we're going to be on the ship on Saturday. I cannot wait. You know how it is. We're all Disney fans. I'm amped. 7 days until we go. So hopefully you're ready for a great weekend. Your next trip is right around the corner. But today we're in for another treat. We have our guest co-host joining us. We had a great time on Wednesday. No prank callers, but we had great callers. And that's always a treat. We answered your listener questions, but today we're going to talk a little international travel, a little more flavor here on the show with our special co-host, Simon from over in the UK. Simon, glad you came back after that fun on Wednesday. We're going to do this again. What's going on?
It's a pleasure to be here, man. Yeah, it was a lot of fun talking some Disney, talking to some of the listeners. It's a pleasure to be here, Mike. You know, it really is. And I'm just wondering if you switched your Coke Zero for a Red Bull there, because that passion for getting ready for your cruise is next level. I love it. It's great.
My wife would not let me have Red Bull in the house. She does allow Mallory Celsius. I don't know if you guys have Celsius over in the UK. Is that
we do not
thing? I don't even know what's in it. I guess it's an energy drink that the teen girls have. It's a thing with the cheerleading squad. I know it's an energy thing. I don't touch it because I'm just high on life, man. Coke Zero's all I need. I mean, seriously, I got enough of that stuff in my bloodstream. The caffeine, I don't even know what my caffeine level is. It's probably why I got to do iron infusions, because it's probably not blood. It's probably just Coke Zero. I don't know. I drink a lot.
Honestly though, the passion for that cruise trip, you're right. That excitement you get when you get closer and closer and closer to that trip. I'm right there with you. I mean, my next trip at this point is going to be to Paris in August, and that's still a way away, but I'm getting excited for that one. So yeah, I completely 10 days, Mike. That's nothing. It's going to fly.
Dude. Well, because plus we have a holiday here. I mean, I didn't want to bring it up because you're from the UK and it's kind of maybe still a sore point. I don't know. Like.
We have holidays all the time.
I know you guys know. We don't even know what they are. I need some of that bank holiday stuff. We're talking about that. You're like, I talk to you and you're like, I'm off work today. I don't know why it's a bank holiday. Who knows? We're just off. I need to get in on some of that because I only get off work when I go on vacation. That's it. I work Christmas. It's crazy. But no, I was mentioning because it's like the 4th of July and there's like like the Revolutionary War and stuff. Between our countries. I didn't want to. Like starting internet, I didn't want to rub a sore point.
My sort of take is I wasn't around then, so I don't really care.
I'm just joking.
You guys have got the parks, man. I love you all.
Oh, we love you guys, dude. You guys have fish and chips, man. That's my favorite, dude.
I tell you what, this turned out to be a rough week for me. Beginning of the week, I was getting hounded by Mohawk from Scotland, and today it's Mike in America. Like, it's a tough week to be English for me.
Dude, it's all good. I love everybody, man. It's I like international foods, like fish and chips. And Scott, I don't even think he's going to come back to the United States after this cruise. At
this point, no, I think you're right. We've lost Scott to Norway and Europe at this point. He's gone.
He is for real Scandinavian at this point. I'm for sure. I'm never seeing my best friend again unless I go somewhere where the sun never sets. Like living your best life is never taken on. Like it's him personified in the clubhouse right now.
Absolutely.
Like, it's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you this before we get into kind of talking about just like travel tips for folks that are international travel. This may be stuff we don't know. Today's is going to be kind of a fun Friday show. While we have you here, it's a great opportunity, but you've also performed and worked on cruise ships. I'm getting to go on a cruise and I've sailed. I'm platinum on Disney Cruise Line, so I've sailed all their ships so far. Haven't obviously sailed the Treasure yet because she hasn't sailed, but what's that like? For what you can tell us, because I've always been intrigued. I've worked as like entertainment. Like my dad owns a mobile DJ company. So growing up, I always worked as a mobile disc jockey. So I was always DJing wedding receptions and big high school proms and parties and carnivals and car shows. I was always the mobile DJ guy, I was always behind the mic and stuff. So I always had this dream, but I'm a married dude. I'm a dad. But when I go on a cruise, I'm like, I would love to work on the cruise director's staff. That'd be my jam. I'd love to host trivias. I'd love to, be the karaoke host. Or, that would be like a fun job. But I know like you only see the fun part when you're the guest. Like you don't see the dirty,
for sure.
the other stuff.
Sure.
But what is it like to be on a cruise ship from that other side of the job?
Yeah. So what I will say right off the point is that when on the cruise ships, what I didn't work anywhere near as hard as what the cruise director and his staff do, because those guys, they're 24/7. Like Mike, right? They do the trivia, they do the bingo, they do the sail away parties by the pool. They're hosting karaoke. They're everything. These guys do everything, and they are fantastic. And so what I did, or what I do, I was in a group called the Basstones. Right, and we're like a male vocal harmony group. So you think Jersey Boys, you think we have a group in the UK called the Overtones. You heard of Postmodern Jukebox?
No, see, I'm not. I need to learn more about this stuff.
I think some of the listeners will have for sure. They're very big in America as well. So we would fly out, right? So when you go to the theater on board, and you will watch the production shows, and it's got like 10, 12 people in, and they live on the ship, right? They do the shows and do the entertainment on the ship. You'll also see like a tribute act, or you'll see a comedian, and they're called a guest artist.
Mhm.
So we were a guest artist, and what that would mean is we would fly out to a ship on, say, a Monday, and then on Wednesday night we would do 2 1-hour shows, and then on Saturday night we would do 2 1-hour shows, and then we would leave the ship on the following Monday. Outside of those 4-hour shows that we're doing on those 2 separate nights, we were guests just like you.
That's a great gig,
So
isn't it? I mean, isn't it cool?
It was fantastic because, like you, I started off as like a mobile DJ. You know, my dad bought me some record players, and you know, I just did pubs and clubs and whatever else. And what the cruise staff do now on board, I did that on land at holiday parks like Butlins. It's a massive holiday resort in the UK, and I was a redcoat there, and I did like the bingo and the karaoke and everything that those guys do. So that is the really hard job. By the time I was on cruise, that job I was doing on cruises, that was a dream, because I got to sing for 4 hours a week, and the rest of the week I was like eating in the restaurant, 3 reservations a day, and seeing the world. And you know, I was saying to you last week, last show, the trip that Scott is on now, I did that exact same trip with a different cruise company, but as a guest artist. So we went to Stavanger, we went to Nordford, we went to all those places, Olden, like beautiful, beautiful places. And all I had to do to go there was sing for 4 hours that week.
That's awesome. So
it's fantastic. There's videos of me and the guys on YouTube performing on the celebrity cruise ships and P&O cruise ships, and you search the bass tones and you'll find us.
I'm totally looking that up, and I'm so jealous because I mean the thing is too is like for folks like us, like entertaining is fun. Like I love doing the show. Like I would rather do the show than watch a show. Like that's exciting for me. That's part of it. Like
exactly
I'm
right.
sure you're the same way.
Yeah, absolutely. Like of all the jobs I've done, and there have been many, I always come back to performing. Like it's in you, right? It's just you have to do it. It's at this point it's not an option. I have to do it. It's what I have to do. Like I love watching shows. I love performing in shows. Same way for you.
Yeah. So this show, because this show is a Friday show, and it's great to have you here, you know, with this kind of cool expertise. Let me ask you this. So like when you've done these, you know, I don't know, it's probably not I guess it's kind of a modified contract. Not the long length of a contract that like somebody like a cruise director staff person would have, or, you know, like a waiter or something on a cruise, but these specific things. But like, what's something that you've got to experience that's like really special, that really sticks out? You know, have you performed with like special guests on your cruise, or have you been on a cruise where something crazy has happened? I mean, give us a couple stories maybe from your experiences.
There's always a story, Mike. Like there's so many. Like I remember picking up a ship in South Carolina, and we landed. We got there. It was like one of the most chaotic airport experiences I'd ever had. Like this security guy was drilling down on me because I just legged it from check-in desk to the gate, because they were like, "Oh, you're late. You need to run, otherwise you're gonna miss it." So man, we were tailing it through. I fell over a bench, like, and it was crazy. Like I went. By the time I got to this guy on security, I was sweating. I couldn't breathe. I was like, and he's like, "Show me your boarding pass, please." I was like, he's like, "Where are you going?" I couldn't remember where we were going. I was like, I'm getting on a cruise ship and I'm singing. He's like, "Sir, I just need to know, what country are you traveling to?" I was like, "America." I don't know where I'm going.
Oh God. And you're in South Carolina. By the way, we have this show called On Patrol Live, which is it's a form of this other show called Live PD, which the wildest police chases always happen in South Carolina. For the record, I'm just saying, you were in the wrong state.
And all I needed to tell him was, "I'm getting on a ship in the port of South Carolina." Done. But I couldn't, for the life of me, pull it out of my mind. So anyway, we rushed to get to the ship. And it's supposed to be like, a short 4-day crossing or whatever. And we board. We finally get on the ship, and then they tell us, "Okay, we're going to take a detour because there's, hurricanes or tornadoes or whatever in the Atlantic." Oh, sorry. So we end up having to go down, all the way down, and across to Portugal and then back up to England through the roughest seas I've ever experienced in my life. So the funny story within this is, one night we're on the ship and we're performing, right? So we do the first show and we're sort of doing our routines. We got dance routines and we're moving around, and I do this sort of step ball change, and as I move, the stage just completely disappears from under my feet because it's moved at such a level. I've gone to jump and gone right up in the air because the stage has gone down. And like, that show was like terrifying because we'd never experienced that before. So we get to the end of that show, we made it through, and in the interval, the cruise directors come down. They go, "Guys, great job. You know, thank you so much for getting through that. It was, you know, can't thank you enough. Are you okay to go on and do the second one?"
Yeah. No.
And there's 3 of us, and I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, no, let's do it." The other guy's like, "Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, we can do that." The third guy, Mark, my friend Mark, he's sat in the chair and he's green at this point. Like, and he's like, "I'll do it." He's like, just nodding, "I'll do it." And as we're having this discussion, you hear the biggest crash, right? And the boat has gone so hard, the whole drum kit that's weighted down has flew off the riser and into the wing. And within 30 seconds of that happening, the captain phoned down backstage, "The show is cancelled. Take yourself to midship, get a ginger beer and ride out the storm."
Oh my gosh. I've always wondered that because, I mean, you know, it's just a spectator. I've been in, and I mean, nothing like the seas I'm sure that you were in, right? Because, you know, I've been in the Walt Disney Theater on the ships, you know, for the Disney Cruise Line. And like, you just notice, like, you're sitting in the theater and you see the curtain sway, right? That's your first thing. Like,
That's it.
and you know, and I'm like, but the actors never flinch, you know, and sometimes they're up on, you know, they're like Peter Pan's floating up, you know, up in the sky in the theater and stuff, and like they never bat an eye, you know. And I think it's such professionalism that it's like they're on land, but then you like, we're at sea and these people are dancing around and stuff, and this ship is rocking, you know, we're out at sea. It's amazing. I love it.
And the thing is, these ships are built with such incredible stabilizers that, you know, for you to feel that, it has to be so bad outside, because they're built for this, right? They're built to handle this weather and these seas. But yeah, it was probably up there one of the roughest trips that we ever had. But as a flip story to that, one of my most your favorite memories, we were on the trip that Scott's on now, and we went to a port called Oldham. And they did this free shuttle from the ship to a fjord, and it was about, I don't want to say 10 miles. And so you drive 10 miles through this fjord and you hit a dead end because you basically come face to face with like a waterfall, right? And so the coach will let you get off for 10 minutes and then drive back. We got off and then we were like, yeah, well, just go. We'll get the next one because they keep coming back all day. And we noticed as we were coming in, there's like a camping ground. And so we walked down to the camping ground, and they've got like canoes and kayaks and everything. And they let us take one. So the 3 of us jumped in this sort of big canoe, and we just kayaked down a fjord. And I was like, man, this is amazing. Like, it doesn't get any better than this. You know what happened? You know exactly what happened. That canoe went upside down, and we were freezing our butts off in a Norwegian fjord. But it's a memory, right? And it's like, when will we ever do this again? Like, I could say I've been swimming in a fjord.
That's true. And I mean, probably you're thinking for a few times this might be the last swim you ever take too, because you're so cold. This hypothermia is going to set in here quickly.
Well, me being the guy I am, I'm thinking, how much they're going to charge me for this canoe if it's
that
damaged?
Too. Yeah, exactly. Like, dude, I just did the last 7 gigs for the cost of this canoe.
But what I will say is, it gave me the opportunity, and still does, to do the job I love in like some of the biggest, grandest theaters that exist, because some of the theaters on these ships, and you'll know, Mike, they're equivalent to some of the London West End theaters. They're that big. They house so many people, and to play with a live band in that atmosphere and be supported by like the cruise director and their team, it's a wonderful experience. And then, like, you know, we spend the rest of the week feeling like stars because everybody's seen us perform, and like they all want to have dinner with the bass tones. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, we'll come and sit at your table. And you're like, you understand
see,
it, right? Everybody wants to catch you when you're in the park, sort of thing.
Well, see, and I wondered like because I mean, I'm kind of a geek, right? But I mean, like I remember like the hypnotist guy, right? I mean, he was awesome in the adult club. Like he did this. So Scott got big time. He got hypnotized, dude. He was like a fireman. He had a baby. I mean, on our podcast cruise when we did the 7-nighter, this was like in 2017. Like, I mean, it's Scott, right? He's funny as it is, but dude, he got hypnotized, and everybody was talking about Scott for the rest of the cruise. But the hypnotist guy was so good. Like, I just wanted to like meet the guy. So like I had selfies with him, and that's what I was wondering because, and you just nailed it, right? I mean, I love interacting with like the entertainers, like the bingo guy, Dino, the bingo guy, because they make or break your cruise experience. And I love the live entertainment. And the thing is too, is when you go on a cruise, the live entertainment is what brings the cruise to life. Yeah. The ship's fun. The dining's fun. Your wait staff is great. Your room host is awesome, but the live entertainment, it really does bring the ship to life every night, even during the day, sometimes like on deck and stuff. I mean, I appreciate what you guys do. I mean, it sounds like you just have a blast on the other end of it.
Oh, absolutely. I'll say it's the most favorite job I've ever done. And it's strange to call it a job. It almost feels criminal to call it a job because you love it so much, but what better job to have than one that you enjoyed like so much? And you're right, the entertainment, it changes everything, and it can break it as well. So yeah, it's great. It's great.
So let's kind of keep this to cruising. I'm cruising here in a week.
Yeah.
So we're halfway through. So let me ask you this, like what tips have you picked up for folks maybe that are cruising for the first time, or, even for folks like me that are taking their 18th, 19th cruise? Like what have you found like practical cruise advice? Because you have to jump in and out of these ships and, packing or just little things and stuff like that.
One thing, it's a little bit different for us because, we have to bring everything that you would bring as a guest, but then we have to bring our stage stuff as well. So we've inevitably got more. And the good thing with, like, as you know, with the cruise, you could take as much as you want, as much as you can carry, you could take it. But what I would say is, it doesn't mean you have to. You don't have to take everything, but take what you're comfortable with, put on the nice suit, do the nice formal night, 9 times out of 10, that wouldn't be my thing. I wouldn't choose to put a tux and a bow tie on, once a month, but on a cruise, yeah, I'm going to do it because I want every experience that I can get. So I'll go and play deck quoits. I don't even know what deck quoits was, but I played it and I loved it. And that's it. It's do the thing, eat the thing, go and see the thing. Like whatever the thing is, just do it. Because when you've paid so much to have this experience as much as you can. And don't be afraid because, excuse the pun, everybody's in the same boat.
Yeah.
Like you're all in it together. So just get on in there. Like have the 3 reservations at the same restaurant, go for it.
Yeah, it's great advice. I mean, that is kind of the thing I like about cruising is that, for one thing, I say this too, when we do these podcast cruises, right? We've done 6 of them. We've just announced the 7th one. We're gonna all sail the Magic in July of next year. New ship to us, one of the classic ships.
Okay.
We're gonna go to the new island. We're gonna have a good time. We always have a blast sailing together. I mean, everybody who sailed with us in 2017 and saw Scott hypnotize me, they'll never forget that. It was wild. I met Scott on one of the podcast cruises, and we're best friends. I mean, it's kind of how this stuff goes. It's crazy.
I'm gonna have to get a track of those dates because maybe that will be our first Disney cruise.
Oh man, it'd be so much fun. But because it's like, because you know how it is. Like on a cruise, you get to sit down and just hang out with people, right? You get to share a slice of pizza at the pub and watch a game, but hang out and talk. And I mean, it gives you that time to just relax and get to know people. And that's how I got to meet Scott and his family. And like, we're like, thicker than thieves now. But so like you were saying though, with a cruise, one of the things I really enjoy about a cruise from like the guest side of things is that, you can kind of cut loose and you can sing karaoke, or you can go to a tequila tasting And you don't got to get too crazy, but the thing is, for the most part, you're never going to see those people again ever. Like, so don't be so worried and uptight. You know what I'm saying? You don't get, I'm not saying you got to be crazy and like rip your shirt off and stuff like that. You still gotta be, you gotta be cool. But the thing is, like, it's okay to sing a karaoke song if you're an accountant. You know what? Like, those people, you're not going to see them again. Have some fun for once in your life, and try the extra dessert. Spoil yourself for a week. It's fun.
That's exactly it. Like, it's making the most of those experiences. And I always like to try and do a new thing. Like, what's a new thing that I can do that I've never done before? Because when are you going to get the chance again? Life's short. Like, make the most of it. I love that you guys always say plan a travel day ahead of joining the ship, because we have seen a lot of people miss their ships because they just misjudged it, and some of the worst ones is people almost enjoy themselves too much in port and miss the sail away. So then they're just left there and have to try and catch up with the ship somewhere else, because it's the ships have strict things they have to stick to, that they can only be in port for so long and that sort of thing. So yeah, just always be aware of your itinerary. I would say that's the most important.
Oh, I know. I mean, there's a Love Boat episode where Captain Stubing left Vicky behind because the princess had to sail. He left Vicky behind. I mean, if that isn't proof that you will get left at your port if you just try to hang out for one last margarita and think, you know what, I can still run a 6-minute mile and get to that ship. No, you can't. After that 7th margarita,
not after 6 margaritas,
you can't. I don't care. You are not going to qualify. It is not going to happen. And like, so we were talking in the Discord with Hero for Hire. He's like, here's my stateroom number, my first cruise. I don't know if I'm port or starboard. And I'm like explaining, I'm like, dude, you're on this side, and I said, cause he's on Castaway Key. He's going to be on the side where it overlooks the port instead of the island. And I said, but it's awesome because I said, right at sail away, man, get out on your veranda and just watch, because there will be people running up to that ship when it's getting ready to sail. I was like, have your camera ready because they'll be scrambling. I was like, it has its own joy when you're on that side of the ship, because I've been on both sides. And it's fun. I mean, it's fun because it's not you.
The Germans call it Schadenfreude, right?
I'm just, yeah, exactly. As long as it's not you, it's fun. It's like,
absolutely.
I mean, isn't it the thing? Like the cruise director always says, if it is you, it's going to be a great shot. Have your camera ready, get that great shot of the rear end of the ship pulling out of port, because it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, your video is going to go viral the next day.
That's so fun. I love this show. Okay, so let me ask you. So, what is one of the cool things you've done, like from the guest side of things on a cruise ship, that maybe you never expected you would do? Because you've probably been on different lines and stuff. And I mean, cruise ships have now become amusement parks at sea. I mean, we've ice skated on Royal Caribbean. We've been on Freedom of the Seas, and we've surfed, on Flow Rider. We've climbed rock walls. We've done all the crazy stuff on the Disney Cruise Line ships, Aqueduct, that kind of stuff, the Aqua Mouse. What's some of the stuff maybe you've got to experience?
Yeah, I mean, you sort of just hitting them all in one bat there. You get like the onboard surf. I would call it a surf pit, but I'm not sure what the correct term would be. But the thing, like a wave rider. Yeah. So you got that, and that you say so many of them have got flumes, and it's like a water park on the top deck. You don't need to go to a water park because it's on the ship, you know. But honestly, some of the off ship excursions can be fantastic, and things I never thought that I would do. Like, so we went to Amsterdam, right? And there was this excursion where you had to get up at 3 a.m. and get on the coach at 4, and it would take you off to the world's biggest and busiest flower auction wholesale warehouse. And I got asked if I would be like a tour leader, because they were one short. Do you want to go? You do it for free, but you need to make sure everyone who gets on the coach gets back on the ship. So
you're all of a sudden an elementary school teacher, like count them up. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I got a little yellow sticker that apparently makes me responsible for 50 adults. Like, so
Totally.
So we all pile onto this bus, and it's really sort of quiet and chilled. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, and not many people are vibing. They're regretting their decision to do this
100%.
trip, you know.
Especially people
But
got
then-
in at like 2:30. Yeah, totally.
Absolutely. But then we get there to this, and it's very unassuming to look at from the outside. And you walk in, and I kid you not, you've seen the scene in Willy Wonka, right? He opens the doors to that first room, and like all the chocolate, everything everywhere. It was like that, and there was it was amazing. It was like every flower you could ever imagine just whizzing by you at 100 miles an hour, and you got this room where people are just calling in from all over the world, bidding on flowers, and they take you through the journey. So someone will bid on that flower, and within 24 hours, it will be in their country.
That's
However many
crazy.
they order, within 24 hours, it will be on their doorstep in their country. It was, and never in my wildest dreams did I think I was going to be so enthusiastic about flowers, but it was amazing. Like that geek aspect, right?
It's
You got people flying around on
it's
these
logistics, right? I mean, it's,
Yeah,
and I
that's
think that's
it.
why we all like Disney so much, because it's not it's the magical, fun travel part. But I mean, I think at the heart of like why we like Disney so much for a lot of us, it's the logistics of how they pull it off.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
How do they do this?
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, and in the warehouse, like there's like hundreds of people. Yeah, so you have a Segway that you stand up on. It's like that, but a forklift truck or a pallet lifter, if you know what I mean. But the forks are on the back behind them, so they can't see the forks. But they whiz round at like 100 miles an hour, and they're backing in, getting trolleys, and boom. And they take like 10, 20 trains of flowers in one go. And you're like, right, people must die in this factory, but they don't. Like, it's crazy. But that is one of those things that I'd never in my wildest dreams did I think that would be something that really floated my boat, but it was fantastic.
And that's it, and that's one of those things, like you said, I'm going to give it a shot, like,
Yeah.
I mean, on the surface though, you're like, it's a flower auction, like, but I mean, that's totally it. That's like, I've been joking with my wife, right? Because I've been watching these vlogs, because again, I'm like itching to go. I've been really itching to go for the like past 4 or 5 months. So I've been looking at all the vlogs for our Eastern Caribbean cruise, and people keep ordering this thing called a pecan tart, like a southern pecan tart or something for dessert in one of the restaurants. I have no idea what that thing is, but I'm like, I keep telling my wife, I'm getting this southern pecan tart thing. I don't know what it tastes like. I don't even know what it's about, but I'm like, everybody orders it, and I'm getting it, and I'm going to eat it, and I'm going to like it. But it's again,
So-
who knows? But I'm going to be sad if I don't like it, because I've been hyping this thing up for 90 days. So that's kind of the cruise thing.
So I'll give you a little tip that might help. And I'm sorry to circle all the way back to my original ever Trip Report podcast with you, right?
No, it's great.
But we're going to talk Walmart for a second, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Because every time we come over, we go to Walmart, right? And they have this pecan tart, and it's like just a singular thing in a box, and it's normally like 69 cents. And that thing is divine. It's like, I need to get me one of them. I need it with a coffee. Tomorrow morning, this is what I'm having. That's my breakfast. But if you want to try and preempt what it might be like, and if you might like it, go to Walmart and get the 69 cents pecan tart.
Well,
It's like a little circular slice of heaven.
Well, see-
It's wonderful.
that makes me happy. That makes me. But see, here's the deal, dude. I'm too close to spoil it at this point. That'd be like me
true.
right at this point watching the Tiana's Bayou Adventure, like that POV video, because I'm not watching it.
Yeah,
Disney could try.
I
I'm
take
not
it back.
doing
Don't
it.
do that.
No way. I'm like a week out now, dude. That'd be like I've been hyped. You know what? It's the Walmart one. I mean, God bless Walmart. It's right down the street. I'm in Missouri. They're everywhere. But I mean, this is Animator's Palette or whatever, Enchanted Garden. I don't know which restaurant it is, but I'm gonna be watching that menu like a hawk. In the night it's on the menu, I'm like, bring 2 of those bad boys. And like, my wife's gonna have one. Bring me 2. She can have one. Bring them for the table. Like, I don't care. I've been looking forward to this bad boy for 3 months. And I mean, even if I don't like it, I'm gonna. You're an actor. I'm gonna
You're
be
eating it.
I'm gonna be an
You're eating
actor
it.
that night, man. I'm gonna have the biggest grin on my face. I could think it tastes like dirt. I'll be like smiling, just chucking that thing down and loving life. I mean, it's going to be, I'm going to put the camera on me.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You're sat on a Disney ship eating a dessert. That's right. So I mean, it's win-win.
Yeah, I mean, they could be back in the kitchen like, watch, I'm going to serve this guy dirt and call it a pecan tart and like just watch, and he's like, that thing
just put a
great.
pecan right on top of it. Like,
exactly.
There you
go. I'm just so pumped.
That is like the best description. Like, it's like avoiding all spoilers for Tiana's Bayou Adventure and the hour before you get on it, just watch the video.
Oh, no, dude. I mean, Disney's hitting us so hard with so many. I mean, they put out their own POV video. I'm like, Disney, knock it off. Like, I'm just trying to like be unspoiled, and I don't even know what I'm going to get into the park.
So one of the last shows I heard before I went away on my sort of work travels and stuff was you talking about this very thing about them dropping that video and you trying to avoid it, and because of that, I've actively stayed away from most social media just in case. Because I'm like you, right? It's a new experience, and there's not many of those to have in Walt Disney World for a lot of people. And to be able to go and have that new thing, I don't want to spoil it by watching a video beforehand.
I'm saying, yeah. You just don't get that many new experiences, and I just want it. And I don't even know when I'm getting back before marathon weekend. I mean, that's probably the next time, but I say that, and sometimes in the fall opportunities come up for just little short like weekends and stuff. So maybe, but why spoil it by watching a video? I mean, and it's not a whole, I mean, the track's the same and everything, but but
it's new. It's new.
It is. And I'm excited for it.
For sure.
Exactly. And so I'm good. Now I'm kind of mad about the Shooting Arcade becoming a DVC like lounge. That's whatever. I mean, but come on. I mean, even if I was a DVC member, I think I'd feel the same. I'm not that way because I'm not DVC. I just think that because I'm happy for DVC people. I know that you spend a lot of money, and I want you to have perks. I totally am all about DVC people getting perks, but like taking out something that everybody has access to let people have access to, I'm not cool with that. I
completely agree. It's not one of those things that I have massively used, but I definitely would use it with the boys. And there's so many other places, right, that the lounge could go. So does it have to be there? Is that like really hurting anybody? It's another experience, I think, that just goes away. Like you say, it's taken away from the many for the few, and that's not cool.
So let me ask you this, because it's been a fun 80% of the show talking about your experiences with cruise, and it's helped me kind of, kill 40 minutes before my, give me 40 minutes closer to the fantasy, which I'm sorry, I'm just taking advantage of that. But you're headed to Paris here, you say, in August. So what are you looking forward to? Scotty G is going to be there here in less than a week. He's got 24, but he's got 1 day there. So he's got probably 8 hours, and he's going to try to fit a lifetime. Yeah, he's going to be crazy. But after not seeing a sunset for 2 weeks, he'll be manic. He'll be just wild. But what do you like advice, or what do you like the best about going to that destination? What are you looking forward to?
So what I love about Paris, and having never been to Disneyland California, I don't know for sure, but what I get from listening to your guys' trip reports and podcasts is, as in Paris, that the two parks are so close, and you can go one to the other with little to no trouble at all. And that's really nice because there's lots of elements in both parks that different ones within our group like Sully is cars mad. He loves cars, and they've got a couple of cars related things over there, so we can start the day off in Disneyland Paris Park, which is their Magic Kingdom, I guess, and do all the big hitters. You got Pirates and Small World and all those fantastic things that really make you feel like you're in Disney. And then we can just hop over there in the afternoon and scratch his itch with doing something, and we just keep bouncing around the whole trip. But I think what we're most looking forward to is just being back in it, because we were in World in August, and it just feels like forever. It always feels like forever in between trips, and I think the closer you get, the longer it feels, right? So you're 10 days away from your cruise now, and like every 40 minutes probably feels like 40 days, because you just want to be on there. And what I always try and sort of bear in mind when we get there is enjoy every moment, because it's going to go so quick. Time flies when you're having fun, right? So when you get there, make the most of every opportunity. Like I said about when you're on the cruise, You want the ice cream, have the ice cream. You want to do the experience you've never done before, do the experience. Want to buy a balloon and your kid's going to pop it 10 minutes later, so be it. It's fine. You're in Disney. It doesn't matter, you know?
That's such great advice. I mean, that's so right. I mean, because time, and when you get to a Disney destination, time accelerates, right? Because it drags when you're waiting for it.
Sure,
and then
sure.
once you get there, it's like, you know, you arrive on a Saturday and you're going home on a Friday. It's like, you know, you get there and all of a sudden it's Thursday. Like you turn around and like you got 2 days to go. And like you've been looking forward to the trip for 9 months.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous how fast it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the only way to ever really get ahead of the Disney blues is to have that next trip planned. You always have to have something in the bank, right, to look forward to.
Yeah, I agree. So real quick, because we got to wrap here, but man, it's been fun. But like, how's Sully like looking forward to the trip? Like, what does we got to hear like an update on Sully? He's got to be.
He is great. I spoke to. I was letting him know before he went to bed. Like I was going to come on and talk to you guys today, and he was like, "Oh, you know what time is it? Do I need to come and say hello?" I was like, "No, you absolutely do not. You need to be in bed. Like you got school tomorrow." But you know, I asked him the other day. I was like, what's one of your favorite memories? And I didn't even throw Disney in there. And he was like, Cosmic Rewind. Like
Yes.
that was like just one of his generic favorite memories. I'm like, why? He's like, well, it breaks down a lot, but when it works, it's really fast.
Then he'll really like Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I have a feeling because it's been on the struggle bus.
And we would. Well, we were sort of having this discussion as he was going to bed, because I'm convinced he did and Susie was convinced he hadn't, but we sort of went through and checked, and he actually did ride Terror of Terror. He went on it and he went, "No, Mummy, yeah, I did, because there's a floating eyeball and then you go zoom 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 zoom."
That kid is something, man. You got
And it's funny. It's funny how they remember these details. That I forgot there was a floating eyeball and thing in Terror of Terror, but they latch onto these things, you know. Little bit of news, like breaking news.
Yes.
I am now an annual pass holder for Walt Disney World.
Look at you.
So,
and I'm not, because I was going to renew mine, and my wife threw away the renewal notice, and I was going to post it there, so I didn't forget, and I forgot to renew it. And so I'm like, well, at this point.
So we have our family trip next year, which is going to be a little over 2 weeks in August. I'm going to come out in September this year. I've really gotten into Disney pins. There's like a whole massive community in the UK, and I've made some really nice friends through it. And so there's like an event that's happening, and they're like, "Oh, you should come." And I've never been over there without Susie and the boys before, so it's a bit, I don't know, like I'm not sure. And Susie's like, "Yeah, go do it. You should like absolutely go do it." So it was like, well, if I'm going to come over there for then, and then, you know, the possibility of Run Disney in January, and then next year in August, all of a sudden financially it starts to make sense.
Yep.
Then you throw in the free parking and the discount on merchandise and food, and then before you know it, you have to have one, because it just would be ridiculous not to.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have just heard Disney math at its finest. That's what that was. No, it does.
So what I'm hearing as well is more opportunities for a pub sub, right?
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, Walmart and Publix. I mean, boom, that's America right there, baby.
So September's in the fall for you, right, Mike? If you're free around the 11th, then let me know.
Hey, I wouldn't put it past. It's football season. That just makes it tough, because I can't get out during football season, man. I don't travel during football, but we'll see. I'd love to be down there to see you, man. That'd be awesome. But well, it's early. We're still optimistic in September. You know, we haven't made. We still have national championship dreams. Exactly. By November, you know what's going to happen. Like, oh man.
Oh, absolutely. Like, it's like England right now. We're top of the group. We've got a game tomorrow. We're probably going to go through. So we're like, yeah, we're going to win it.
Exactly.
Give it a week. That dream is going to be gone.
Still optimistic in September. By the beginning of September, yes, we can still win a natty. But, who knows by November, we know. Well, hey. What a great week, man. Simon, I appreciate it because I know you stayed up way late, and it's been so much fun for me, and I know our audience loves it. So thanks for coming on this week, and best of the family. Tell Sully I hope he has a great week at school, and we love having him here kind of via you. So thanks again for the week.
No, thank you so much, Mike. It's an absolute honor and a pleasure. Like I was telling Suze, like it's so exciting for me to be able to come on and talk to you guys. Like since that first show, I've had so many of your community reaching out like, oh, I love the show, you know, you guys, Sully's awesome, like, and then, you know, they watch the videos of Sully on YouTube and they're like, God, that is nuts. And it's just been so lovely and such a pleasure to be a part of. So whenever you're ready, I'm ready to come back. I've got stories here I didn't even get to, and it's just like a whole thing, man. Like whenever you need, if you need a filler, I'm here. I got you, man. I got you.
It's going to happen again, brother. We'll do it again as soon as, and trust me, we'll have time. So just be ready. I got your email. We'll do it again.
Always. Right. Thanks for having me.
All right. Have a great weekend.
Thanks to your listeners for tuning in as well.
All right. Don't forget our show is brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We are here this weekend to help you plan a great Disney adventure for no additional cost to you. Check out all the details right now over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so much to our Patreon supporters. You guys make all this possible. So thank you so very much for that. Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Just $5 a month is all we ask. And you get a bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest. So come on over, patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Come over and join the community over at the Clubhouse. We have so much fun over there with over just about 1,000 listeners of the show. We hang out 24/7. beourguestpodcast.com/Discord for that. The conversation just goes on and on, pictures and stories and all kinds of fun. And Scott's live updates from his great cruise doing back-to-backs over in Europe. It's so much fun. So we'll look for you over there this week, and give us a follow on social media. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. I'll be posting from my trip here shortly in just a week. So give me a follow to get ready for that. And of course, give Simon a follow. One more time, Simon, where can people check you out as well?
You can check us out on Facebook and Instagram. We do a lot of posting of photos and shots from holidays there. And our YouTube channel, which is where a lot of our stuff goes on, our vlogs from our trips and tips videos and things like that. And we are Slowly Does It, SLOWELYDOESIT. Slowly Does It, because the slows move slowly.
I love it. And the story is on the very first trip report. So go back and check that out on a Monday show about a month and a half ago. So check that out. All right. We're going to turn everybody loose and hope you have a great weekend. What a fun week. And we'll be back at it again on Monday with a fun trip report. But until then, have a fun weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
You've been listening to the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. If you have questions, comments, or would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at beourguestpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon.